I am going to speak in English and Spanish because we have people who only speak English. And I'm very happy that you're here. Thank you so much for coming. I was just saying that we are very pleased to see you and to share with you the work of Lea Diaz, my friend here, and my own self, Linda Morales Caballero. I'm going to read in both languages, and for those of you who don't speak Spanish, because I'm going to read two stories in English, there is one I'm going to read in Spanish, and the copy for the English version is right here on the table. I guess we need to pass one down there. Dr. Message, thank you so much. Okay, if you see anybody coming who needs the English version, you can share it with that person, please. So I was just trying to say that Javier Molea has a program to support immigrants, and anybody can contribute to that. It was especially for DACA students, kids who were brought here as children, and they are trying to go to college right now, and they need representation by lawyers and who knows what else. So many things are going on against immigrants right now. So anyway, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to read Enigmas from the book of Enigmas today. And Lea is going to read from two of her poetry books, Amanecer de mi alma, and something about unicorns. What is the name?
Visions of Unicorns, Visiones de Unicornios.
Okay, and thank God, you know, because her writing is like an oasis. Her writing is really beautiful. You're going to feel fantastic. You're going to feel relaxed. And when you hear me, you're going to feel exactly the opposite. All right? So we decided to do it like that so that you don't kill yourselves. All right, so Lea, please. I'm going to talk more about the book later, but I want Lea to start with her own work.
So thank you so much for being here, all of you. I'm very happy. To me, this is a very special occasion. I wanted to say thank you to you, of course, but at the same time to Javier. He's a good friend. We have known each other for a few years. And to me, being here today, it's a very beautiful moment that couldn't have been possible to do it without him and also without my very, very dear friend, Linda. So thank you so much, all of you, for being here. And finally, just a few words about this Solidarity Fund and in general the Solidarity movement and maybe some civic engagement or activism as citizens regarding all what's going on with the new presidency and especially in those days with the immigration, and which is like so bad. So any of you, depending on your possibilities and your particular circumstances, I'm sure that you will be able to contribute in some way. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to start reading about the poetry book, which is called Amanecer de mi alma, or The Dawn of My Soul. The Dawn of My Soul is very delicate. It's about a daydream, magical, and in some sort of way, I am painting with these verses, with these poems, like the rooms of my soul. It's my inner self. It's all these different emotions that can talk about love, friendship, romance, idealism, at the same time, the absence of the person that maybe you love, nostalgia, melancholy. So it's all these kind of states of the soul. But in the end, to me, there's some sort of hope. This amanecer, this dawn or sunrise, it's a metaphor of an allegory of hope, of the light that anyway it's gonna rain in life, even though there can be the different types of moments.
Hey, so I was going to read only from this book, but I am going to end up reading also from this magazine, Híbrido, which I highly recommend. It has a very good content. It's in Spanish if you want to practice Spanish. Okay, lo traduje anoche. I translated this enigma last night. So I hope it's clear enough. And I hope I can read it without troubles, without problems. By the way, I should tell you now before I start reading enigmas. Many people ask me, what is an enigma? Or what are you talking about? Or is it a poem? Or is it a short story? Well, it's something like a hybrid, talking about híbrido. It's a mixture of drama or theater poetry in prose, and of course a short story, but it has a high psychological content. So it has many layers. As a matter of fact, I don't want to forget to mention this. There is a play that has been created in Madrid from 5 of the stories. There is a monologue that has been running for many months in Madrid as well from one of the stories. And there is a film that is going to start being shown now. It was just released, also based in one of the stories. So I think that kind of proves, what I'm talking about, this perhaps new subgenre. I just prefer to call them enigmas because they are not easy to frame into another genre. Okay, let's go with Ice. That's the name of the one I'm going to read right now, the one that is published in Spanish in Híbrido. Okay, at this moment I'm a child. Suddenly, I recognize a word and experience a childhood that I have not had in a language that I have not grown up with at home. In that memory, I have a mischievous grimace. I am in the garden of my house, and a friend shows me a butterfly, a mariposa, trapped between his little fingers. He plays pretending that he will put it on my nose. I keep him at my arm's length and laugh nervously. My parents prepare a barbecue next to the pool. I feel safe at home. That's why I can laugh. In that memory, which is not mine, I'm rosy white, with very blonde hair, almost yellow. As I've been escaping the bug my friend is threatening me with, I look red like a jitomate. In our house is comfortable, so much that my friends come, play, and with me they might stay overnight if they want to. This friend who chases me today is a very good amigo. He was born here, but his parents weren't. He says the government will kick them out at any moment. Out of the country. And that he won't be able to visit me anymore. They will take him away to a place for children, as if he had not been born of anyone. But how? I do not understand. The land where we are born is not ours? Aren't parents forever? Even when they split? Today, we laughed a lot, but I know he's sad. His tummy hurts from time to time. But it is not the food of my house or the tacos of his. It's the anxiety, the stress, the fear. I would like to give them my little house in the garden. It is small, but they could sleep there, especially because their mama and papa work all day. In these memories, my parents work from 9 to 5, and the rest of the day they spend it with us. Also, on the weekends, we go out in our new car, where I sometimes take my Mexican amigo for a ride. A lady like my mama in the current reality comes to clean the house, while my mom in that memory has time to play as well as that. I like these memories. They calm me down while I cannot sleep, waiting for the migra. I'm thinking, what kind of questions will eyes ask me? Its name gives me goosebumps. They must be made of real ice. Muchas gracias.
Bueno, so I was saying that this book, Visions of Unicorns, expresses in a evocative way daydreams, aspirations, and also moments of everyday life. Maybe the idea when I write it, even without knowing, is trying to live a life which is full of beauty, romance, and authenticity. And to me, a unicorn is a magical, mythical creature I adore, and maybe represents that existence which is authentic and true. And I've picked maybe a few points that can be a good show of the different tones of the book. The first one I'm going to read is for my little niece. I don't have kids, so I didn't know. I mean, I've been around kids, but when you have it in the home, you know, it's very different. So I couldn't but write something for her, as you will see. And then I have also picked one which is devoted to a beggar, but it's a very special beggar. I had the chance to contemplate one of those days. I was sitting there, maybe reflecting, maybe writing a little bit, you know, after one of my yoga classes. And then the last one maybe is going to be a little bit more in this romantic tone. So I'm going to start. I hope that you enjoy. Griselda is the name of or Griseldita, no? My little niece. It is as if you didn't belong to this world. Angel of the dawn, baby butterfly of dream and fantasy, fluttering, flying high towards the sun, king of the stars, returning blessed with gifts. Your gilded wings dispel the gloom and the shadow. The snow-white roses in your pearly face. The frost of nacre covers the wastelands beyond the indigo horizon. Immaculate winter's landscape, like you, so delicate, so pure. Transparent eyes full of life. Mirror of azure hydrangeas. Brook of limpid, intact waters, where lethargic souls quench the thirst. Laughter reverberates in the house, the festive sound of toys, tiny steps, and something revives in my languid heart, which today is beating with a vital new pulse. It is as if you have changed my world, one silent captive, baby butterfly of light, peace, and hope. With a soft glow shines my existence, simple, modest, ruined with dreams. His eyes shine like the surface of the sea on a clear morning, when the sun illuminates the peaceful water and makes every shade glow with gold. His hair is white and looks even whiter after the tanned skin that comes from dreadless walks with the purpose of survival. As the birds seek from fruits, berries, seeds, he's sitting on a bench, a bit distant from the people, from the kids in the playground, from local musicians playing drums. His yellow shirt has lost its brightness. The lonely man is smiling all the time. He's carrying some packages. He opens a plastic bag and calls his friends, shh, shh. He throws his heart up in the air. It expands in million particles. A rain of bread and peanuts covers the gray path hiding the dirt. The man is not lonely. The magic creatures of the park, the squirrels, the doves, the cats, have come closer and closer. They look at him as he's asking for more grain. They eat gracefully in his hands and gather around him. Circle of hope, friendliness, togetherness. A gift of affection is floating among the branches and the cement. The sparkle of ingenuity unfolds, the tender expression in his lips, generous for the company, for the sharing, for the full conversation without words. The man stands up. He marches slowly. He turns his ashen head to glance his peculiar community. He keeps smiling, aloe of content. The man finally leaves. He's back again in the realm of childhood. I dreamed of you today. I saw your shadow through the pale curtains, evanescent like a winged angel. Your eyes glitter in the darkness, calm ocean embracing a mermaid in the close night. You, creature I have long desired, creature of that other life, sometimes so real. The story of a nameless woman farming crops of wheat. Now and then, you have lived in me, with me. Fields of immaculate horizons, lonely beaches, deep blue seas. I was waiting for the extraordinary, for the eternal orchids that blossom in the earliest snows, for the springs of water that flow in the desert, around which an oasis is formed, for your eyes and mine staring, unveiling the mystery, unaware of the rest of the world. I dream of you today and recognize the colors of that other life, imagine, fantasize, and crave, which became so real and true once I was with you. With the oceans of dreams, I can feel and touch the myriad of colors, images, and fantasies your words paint in our daily conversations. You tell the story of a farm where sunflowers grow wild, home of a poet girl and 2 cats. I travel in my imagination and stay and live in that yellow farm. Sudden recollections of the murky woods, labyrinth of trails and lush vegetation, where the sun becomes invisible among the copious leaves. And the days start with shades. I am lost. Again your words appease my fears. They lead me to a cave of rose silk petals. I rest in peace. Yonder voice of wood and candy, eyes of eternity, those words are not yours anymore. They penetrate subtly my ethereal thoughts, unknown desires. They remain and dwell with me. I sense your aura of peace and of flowers, light and beauty, words of perfection and inspiration I need indeed. Moments of silence come after, as the birds that stop singing to peck the fruits of the trees, to gaze at the city from the blue roofs and feel free. I join the flock, I fly so high. After the entrancement, the candid understanding, words like fervent wings. In the solitude of dusk, the silence wears with feathers, the promise of celebration and bliss. Your eyes sail infinite waters, humming love lullabies, gardens of peace and flowers in the journey, oceans of dreams.
I'm going to start with the English version. By the way, this was translated by my translator, Marco Miletic. Sometimes I translate things myself, but I trust him better. Okay, labial, lipstick. I am a man right now. I often wonder if so much therapy won't leave me like a blank page. This fear strikes me at times, but then, when I think I'm becoming empty, there is another kind of warmth to confront. Just today, I remembered when I was a child and mother finished putting on her lipstick facing the mirror. She would spin around like a diva on her hairdresser's chair and wham! She would shoot a glance in my direction that saw right through me. That is, she did not see me. And if I insinuated my presence, she made a gesture that seemed one of disgust, like a desire to kick me. And then an unspeakable anguish fragmented me into many, many pieces. Children love to play to be invisible. I have also played that game, although it was not my favorite one, because I did know what it was to be really invisible. And for me, it amounted to being an idiot. The more abandoned I felt, the more it seemed to excite in my mother the need to be a free woman without children getting in the way. The change was so abrupt that I began to think it was the effect of the lipstick itself. Is this why nowadays I put on lipstick and feel like a diva? Is this why I wish not to be a man sometimes? Is this why I enjoy seducing so much? Is this why I never wanted to have children, and the reason why I have come to think that having children is banal? Anal? I I don't know. Thank God I don't know the answers to all my questions, because if I knew them, I'm afraid I wouldn't be myself anymore. In any case, I also feel a lot of anguish, and I don't know why.
Yourself anymore, something like that.
I'm afraid I wouldn't be myself anymore. In any case, I also feel a lot of anguish, and I don't know why. I turn to therapy to help me solve this grief, these fears that have always plagued me, but I do not know if the cure is better than the disease. Perhaps until today, the only antidote I know against this anxiety is to feel like a diva, or to be one. To have my mother's power over others, even though that power only got her to a madhouse. I don't think I'll be that lucky. According to my therapist, and in spite of my hidden desires, I'll never go insane. On the contrary, I'll have to bear with this cross of anguish nailed to the bottom of my ribs for the rest of my life. Is that any consolation? Although I must confess that the only reason I wished to be crazy was by pure ignorance. I thought crazy people didn't suffer because they lived in another reality. Well, it so happens that their reality may be worse than ours. Also, I think that it was because since childhood, I used to envy the fact that in my family, everyone protects them, cares for them, and I would have loved that. Someone that would have cared for me. It's too late for this nonsense. Now, I live by inertia, with the anguish as my companion and my lipstick transforming me into a diva every time I perform or live my life, which at the end, for me, has become the same. My psychologist doesn't understand my fears. Perhaps he doesn't understand many other things either. But I thank him for his interest. I believe that the most difficult thing to convince him of is my fear to be left without anything to tell. Or is it that the need to listen is really his? These ambivalences are some of the reasons why I am a man broken into so many parts, on the inside and the outside. I think as a man, but I feel like a woman. I'm in a healthy body, but turned inside out. I want to be like my mother, but at the same time, be me. I want to drain myself from this anxiety, but not reach the point where I understand everything so much that I no longer have mysteries to unveil or things to understand. I fear the wool from my eyes will fall, and the only thing left would be admitting that I am just another queer.